Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first update for this year's Kickstarter campaign. This is my humble craft room here. So this is where I'll usually do most of the filming for the updates. I think last year was the first year I started to use a bit of a vlog format as well through the updates. So I keep the same information, or at least very close to it, on the videos and still in text down below. So if you prefer to watch, great. If you just want to read, that's also great as well. But yeah, I got, for me in general, for those that, don't really know me or about the brand, I do live in Mongolia. And so that's, of course, where we do all the sourcing, the procurement, the production, everything happens here in Mongolia. I've been here since 2010. I came here originally as a Peace Corps volunteer. And that's just like a governmental volunteer service. They have projects in different developing countries. So that was in 2010. That was for 2 years. And then I came back after that, and I've been here since. So in the last year or so, I got myself a knitting machine. And so I'm doing a bit of crafting with the yarns that we make too. So we do the knitting yarn, that's still mainly what we do, but also making yarn for myself so I can make clothes. And so we'll see where that does or doesn't go in the next few years, but also definitely getting my hands dirty with our yarn too. Although I do more on the knitting machine than I do with the hand knitting. But that being said, just kind of getting into the update. And thank you to everybody that's joined the campaign. It's been an incredible start. So I'm always extremely nervous and stressed every year before things finally get up and get launched. So seeing the response, seeing everything go pretty much to plan is always great. So thank you for the support, for the new people trusting me with the pre-orders, and for those that are coming back. I wouldn't be able to do this without your guys' yearly support. So thank you so much, and for giving me the opportunity to do this. That being said, about the launch, one thing, bit of a mea culpa here, is I made a mistake. So last year, we did a bit of a pilot program with baby cashmere. So only taking cashmere from goats that were 1 year old. So after they get through their first winter. In theory, that's supposed to be softer and a bit more supple compared to the other cashmere. And the cashmere that we source, it's generally speaking from female goats, which have the softest fiber. And if we're not particularly procuring baby cashmere, it's a blend of baby cashmere and the female goat cashmere. So we were doing that last year to see how it worked. And well, I guess I'll get into the results after just kind of cleaning up the mistake that I made. But in the rewards, I still had that copied over from the reward descriptions from last year, saying that we were going to do a baby cashmere pilot program this year. And we're not. Okay, so all of the cashmere is going to be, it's from the same areas that we sourced last year, but we're not particularly separating for baby cashmere or the female goats. So I just want to be very clear about that. And because of that, once people have pledged for a reward on Kickstarter, I'm not able to go back and edit anything. So I can't change the description, I can't change the pricing, whatever. So what I did is I just ended those rewards, I closed them, so you're no longer able to pledge for those exact rewards that have the improper description, and I recreated those. So if you already pledged for the cashmere, you don't have to do anything, but I just wanted to say that, explain what's happening there. So no worries other than that. But I do apologize for that if that was something you were particularly looking forward to. But if you were, I'll also go into a bit of a description as to why we're not doing the baby cashmere anymore. And I would say, generally speaking, when you're talking about cashmere, of course, you want it to be incredibly soft. And I'm going to have to switch out of this cardigan here. I'm getting too warm, so hold on one second. All right, let's try that again. It does get actually quite warm here in Mongolia in the summer, and no AC, so not a lot of airflow in my craft room, so maybe the thick sheep wool cardigan was a bad idea. But to get back into talking about cashmere, there's a lot that goes into cashmere softness. And when you're talking about baby cashmere, it should have a thinner thickness, a micron. And while that was true last year, I actually had some kind of conflicting test results with that, but pretty sure that the micron count was thinner for the baby cashmere. And that does make a difference. Although one of the bigger things that I've noticed throughout the years that makes probably even a more substantial difference in softness is the fiber base. And so we usually have 3 different natural cashmere colors here. We have the cream, and then there's a tan color. So last year we did the vanilla and almond, which were that natural tan color. And then also the warm gray. For certain colors that we dyed in the past, we used the almond vanilla natural base, although we never made it just in its natural color. So I didn't really get to feel it completely or compare it really apples to apples, undyed in the natural colors. But I would say something that's undeniable is that the tan and the warm gray natural colors tend to be softer than the cream cashmere, regardless of the micron count. So just differences in the suppleness of the fiber, and I guess that stems from the goat breed and maybe also the region that we source from as well. So last year, our sourcing for the almond and vanilla cashmere was from Bumbagor. And Bumbagor, it's a kind of a funny name. I don't know, I like saying it, Bumbagor, but it's kind of famous in Mongolia for its cashmere. Just kind of the region and that sourcing, it's just known for having really good cashmere. So we're keeping all of that sourcing the same this year, and I'm really skeptical that there's going to be any difference in softness compared to doing the 100% baby cashmere versus the female baby cashmere blend that we're kind of used to. And that kind of brings another reason that that makes it very difficult to do maybe just one color for a different sourcing or a different fiber. It's pretty much what that boils down to. Is I already have my fiber contracts made, and if I don't get to see the demand for the different colors until we go into backer kit after the campaign ends and people start selecting which colors and which weights they actually want. Generally speaking, if I have a really high demand for one color, I will pull fiber from what I've planned for another color to make a bigger batch of what's more in demand and less of what's not. However, if I only have one color that's a different fiber, so baby cashmere, I can't do that. I can't pull from just female cashmere and put it in with the baby batch. Because it's going to be different sourcing and it's not going to be what I promised to deliver. So that makes things really stressful. Last year after backer kit opened up, I'm watching, what's getting ordered and where the demand is. And I'm starting to get stressed out because it's also, well, I have the fiber that I order, but then there's always production losses. So it could be around 10%. It could be less, it could be more that you lose during the spinning process. So I don't really know exactly how much yarn I'm gonna have after it's over. And then if I can't add and give myself more buffer, it's incredibly stressful for me. And so last year I barely had enough of the vanilla. And luckily I did have a batch of the almond as well, which is a similar color and kind of a similar baby cashmere type of blend to it. So I was able to make it work last year, but incredibly stressful and something that I would like to avoid going forward. So we'll see this year. Maybe if there is a big difference and people do think that, one is softer, or last year was softer or better, in the future, we will have to go to all of the cashmere being baby cashmere instead of just one color. So to keep the sourcing the same so that I can move between color batches and things. But even that being said, I had all sorts of different reports from last year. Some people said the crimson they thought was the softest, which is actually on the warm gray base. Some thought it was the vanilla, which was the 100% baby cashmere. Some thought it was the almond, the charcoal. So there were kind of all different reports about what they thought was softest or what wasn't. So in the end, I decided it's not worth the hassle. And we'll kind of revisit it in the future, but I just wanted to be clear with that and the reasonings for now. And then also with softness in general, One of the most important things too is the finishing and how you wash it. I'll put this update's probably already going to get quite a bit longer than I wanted it to begin with. But in the next update, I actually recently made a new video about how I wash and finish my items, whether it's cashmere or anything else. And I think people are going to be really surprised with how hard I wash it, how hard I am on it, and then what that creates in the final product as far as the halo goes, the softness, and how you can really control how soft your finished item is with the finishing. And it's incredibly important. And even with, if you have something on the cream base that doesn't have quite as much halo compared to the other bases, which is why I think the cream cashmere tends to be not quite as soft on the hand, you could wash it harder and it'll give it a little bit more halo, and then it'll soften it up even more comparatively. I don't have issues with felting. I know people are going to be scared about really being hard on a finished cashmere item and how expensive everything is. But my advice is always to really make a swatch and really go hard on it. I think you'll be surprised how much things don't felt and how much the fiber blooms, and then you get that incredible cashmere finish. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say about the cashmere this year for now. So I hope that makes sense, and it's not too verbose, but I think it probably was. But okay. So next on the list here is our Yak Fiber. So I just got back from a countryside trip before launching the campaign, and I got to see the raw Yak Fiber. So it's pretty much just in sacks, and it's stacked up in kind of a garage type of an area. So I'll put a picture here so you can see what I'm talking about. And it was actually interesting. I think that's the first time I've seen a large amount of raw Yak Fiber. And I was expecting it to have a little bit more of a smell to it, but it really wasn't. I didn't really smell anything in there. And the last times that I had felt like raw Yak Fiber, it still had quite a bit of guard hair in it. This didn't. It was already like quite soft, and I feel like it's a really good quality. So I'm really excited to see how this comes out this year. I know this is kind of go against what I just said about the cashmere, but in the past, our yak wool sourcing was 1 to 3 year old yaks. This year it's 1 to 2 year old. So we'll see if that makes a difference, even though I just said it didn't with the cashmere. So we'll see. In my experience, the most important thing for yak wool is the processing, the dehairing, and making sure all of the guard hair, the thicker hairs, get out, and it's left with just the downy, soft stuff that we want. So that's that. That'll get hand sorted by color out there. That's in Sitzerlik in Arhangai. And then it'll get hand separated there into colors. And then the colors come to UB, and that's where we do the washing, dehairing, and then send it in for its final spinning. So yeah, that will probably be the end of this month or so. Maybe it'll get to UB. I would assume as much. But I guess that kind of brings to a next point is just kind of general progress and where things are at. So we got the Yak Fiber, and that's going to get sorted, and then it'll get shipped to UB where it'll finish up processing. And then the cashmere is already here in UB. So that's slated to start the washing process. Next week, we have Naadam in Mongolia, which is a very important holiday here, and things will pretty much grind to a halt for a week. But I'm hoping that by the time, maybe around the end of this month or around when the campaign is ending, I'll have some photos of washed and maybe dehaired cashmere as well too. So the sheep wool and camel wool are also harvested, but they're still in the countryside as well. Almost always it's cashmere first, and then followed by the other fibers, both in harvesting. So cashmere gets brushed first, and then it also gets finished as far as the washing and dehairing goes too. So yeah, hopefully by the end of this month, we'll have some cashmere that's pretty close to ready to dye, and then ready to spin out for the natural colors. And through that, I guess also just a little bit of sharing about the countryside trip as well. There was Well, I wanted to check on the Yak Wool fiber as well, and then also did a little bit of a herder stay too. So it's always great. It's difficult for me. I'm more of a city boy. It's difficult for me to get out into the countryside, or at least takes a lot of time for me to adjust. But it's still beautiful. And where we stayed, there was the one son. He was 10 years old, and I was out there with my friend, and we were out there trying to get some action shots or some lifestyle shots of the clothes that we made. But where we were staying, the 10-year-old, we got on some horseback, did some horseback herding, and that's always really cool to see. It's just, it feels different riding around in the Mongolian countryside on horseback. And the kid was pretty cool. He really knows what he's doing. He can really handle things himself. And then he's on the horse without a saddle, just kind of going. Me and my friend, he's better at horse riding than I am. I don't do much riding, but still getting up there. I'm kind of like trying to stay on and not fall off, and this little kid is running around hurting everything. And sometimes it's like they have a couple of families that live around them as well. The herds will get a little bit mixed up, and then we'll go out to grab the yaks and be like, oh, this yak, the gray one's ours, the black one's ours, like not that one, the little baby, that's theirs. We'll go out and separate them and then bring them back for milking and things like that. So I have a few different photos and videos showing that. But from there, I think that's it. I don't think I have anything more to say. We're going on, 12 minutes. So a pretty long one. There was a lot to say about the Cashmere. But yeah, again, thank you for the campaign going as well as it has. We're through most of the stretch goals. The only one we have left is for the sea glass, and that's at 125K. I was expecting a little bit of a drop this year in the campaign because I saw a drastic fiber price increase this year, so I had to increase prices. And then also, I'm not offering fiber bags anymore, and lace weight or bulky weight. So I'm keeping things a little bit more streamlined. So I'm expecting a little bit of a drop from last year. So I'm not sure exactly where it'll end up, but we're still on a pretty good pace. So thank you guys. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave a comment, join our Ravelry group, send me an email. All those things are going to be at the bottom of the update. So feel free to scroll through and check those out as well. All right, thank you.